I'm conflicted, guys. I do not know how I should feel currently about South African cricket. I've read a couple of people's comments online, etc. Maybe I shouldn't have done that because it very much confused me. But I should have maybe just brought those questions to the show. So I thought, because I'm so conflicted, because I'm not 100% clear in my mind on how I feel about South African cricket at the moment from a national standpoint, because I feel that my views maybe are a little bit on the opposite side of compared to everybody to what the majority is kind of thinking. So I came here and I said, okay, I'm going to do a show today that's going to delve into that comments, and it's going to give you guys an opportunity to comment in the comment section and let me know what you guys think about where South African cricket is currently, because I'm a little bit conflicted about things. I don't know where I'm sitting, but it's going to be a very jam packed show today. We've got a preview for the Islands ODI series, and we've also got the Bangladesh tour announcement for the Test tour. The team has been confirmed as well, so I got that for you that I'm going to reveal to you. We're going to be reacting to what Coach Rob had to say after the T20 series, and we're also going to react to what Coach Shukri had to say about the Test squad. And I'm going to pose one big question, and that is, should fans be more upset about our white ball results currently and the way things have gone? Because we haven't won a game under Rob Walter in T20 cricket since he's taken over a series. Not a game, a series. We haven't won a series since he's taken over. So we're going to be delving into all of that on the show today. But before we get going, before we get started, there's a couple of things I'd like you guys to please do. First and foremost, please subscribe to the channel. Um, Click that notification bell as well for all future videos. I'd also like you guys to please smash that like button, comment, and share. So remember, when the stream has ended, it helps out the video out a hell of a lot. It helps the channel out a lot when you guys comment in the comment section after the video has ended. So please do that for me as well. It really helps me out a lot. And then also, I'd like you guys to please download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. And if you want to help the channel out, help me get a new laptop, etc., and new equipment and all of those things, you can become a Patreon. Look at there, right there. There's a link on the screen if you want to help out with that as well. So please, if you want to donate and help, you can do so. But you can also help me out with super chats. That's how you can also help the channel out a hell of a lot. But anyway, without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. I'm looking forward to discussing this with you guys. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Cricket Fanatics magazine. This is your live cricket show, plus your preview show. I'm your host, Khalid, and this is the show where we're going to be talking about a hell of a lot. We're going to be talking about all three formats. It's going to be a jam-packed show, a very busy show for you guys. So please bear with me in the comment section. I'll try to get your questions as quick as possible. I just have to get everything out of the way first. There are a couple of things that we're going to be talking about. We are going to be first talking about the Bangladesh test tour that's going to be happening very, very soon. I'm going to be talking about the squad that was announced. I'm going to be telling you guys when the fixtures were, and then we're going to react to Coach Shukri Conrad's presser about the squad. Then we're going to follow that up with what Rob Walter had to say after the T20 games. And then I'm going to do a little preview for the ODI against Ireland, which is happening as well. And we're going to discuss that. And we're going to talk about our team news and all of those type of things, and who you'd like to see start and what our squad is for that as well. So it's a jam-packed show. Then I'm going to get into that big question that's in the title. Should fans be more upset about the white ball results that we've been having recently? We haven't won a T20 series since Coach Rob took over, and a lot of fans are upset about that. I have a completely different view, which I'm going to post to you guys, and you can tell me if you agree or disagree. So let's get straight into the show. First and foremost, let me just give you a quick update. Cricket South Africa and Bangladesh Cricket Board can confirm the two-match test series scheduled to start on the 21st of October, that it will go ahead. A security assessment was recently conducted by CSA's operations manager, team security manager, safety and security consultant, and a representative of South African Cricket Association as well, SACA. CSA has given the series a go ahead based on the recommendations made by the team post and in loco inspection visit to Bangladesh. The Proteas men will arrive in Dhaka on the 16th of October ahead of their first test match against Bangladesh from the 21st to the 25th of October. After that, the team will travel to Chattogram for the second match, scheduled from the 29th of October to the 2nd of November. And then the squad has been announced as well. So the first match, of course, is going to be at the Sher-e Bangla National Cricket Stadium in Dhaka. And the second match will be in Zahur Ahmed Chowdhury Stadium in Chattogram. So those are going to be the two matches. I've announced the dates as well. And on top of that, the squad has also been announced. So that is the next thing that I would like to also show you guys, because it's important that I show you who is going to be in the team going to the West Indies. It's an interesting one, I have to say, because a lot of us might not be 100% okay with what has been. Oh, that's the wrong one. My bad. Remove that. That's the ODI squad. That's for later. I had everything set up and prepared, and I still make a stuff up. That's just the live streams for you guys, and that's what happens when you do the live stream. Okay, cool. So this is the squad. I'm going to be showing you guys that now. Put it up on the screen. Yeah, so we've got Aiden Markram. In the batting department, we've got Aiden Markram. We've got Tony DeZorzi, David Bedingham, Temba Bavuma, Tristan Stubbs, Calvin Rainer, Matthew Prietsky, and Ryan Rickleton. Then in the all-rounder department, we've got Vian Mulder, Sinaran Mutasami, Keshav Maharaj, and Dane Pitt. And then in the seamers department, we've got Kagiso Rabada, Nandeberger, and Dane Patterson. That's the squad for Bangladesh. So what we then have to do next is have a listen to what Coach Shukri had to say, and have our thoughts on why he selected the players that he selected. Because before I get into the comment section and what you guys have had to say and what you guys think of the squad, I have to first and foremost listen to what Shukri has to say. And before we comment on the squad and give our opinions, I think a nice way to do this is for us to first listen to his reasoning behind certain selections before we go into it, and then we can start maybe criticizing or agreeing with whatever he had to say. So let's get into that first and foremost. Here's what Coach Shukri had to say about the squad and about the tour.
Hello, Shuks. It's a double question, really. How much scenario planning have you done on the World Test Championship log? Did you have to win all the tests now to have a chance of reaching the final? And have you been keeping an eye on the India-Bangladesh second test match this morning?
Hello, Neil. Yeah, with regards to the World Test Championship, I mean, obviously it is there, and we pay attention to it because it's something that we realistically can still be a big part of. According to my calculations, I reckon 5 out of 6 should get us there, and then obviously depending on a few other results as well. But yeah, that's according to my calculations. 5 out of 6 might be enough. I'm sure Fidos is the expert on this. And then in terms of, sorry, what was the second one again?
I just wondered whether you'd seen the score. This morning.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of the baseball going on in Kanpur. Obviously, India, going hell for leather to get a result there. So, watched quite a bit of the little bit that they have been playing. I've taken my time off to watch that. Yes.
Thank you.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks, Neil. Paul?
Thanks. Yes. Hi, Coach. Looking at the squad for the Bangladesh series, largely pretty much similar from a batting perspective to the West Indies series, but from a bowling perspective, obviously the inclusion of Senaran, largely for the conditions, but from a bowling perspective and a fast bowling perspective, what were the constraints that you had in terms of the personnel?
Here we go,
in
guys.
selecting the
This is
fast
actually what I
bowlers that you
wanted to
have on
know.
this tour?
So we obviously want to settle this batting unit, and I think we've achieved that. I think those are our batters that are going to take us forward now. We've obviously got Marco and Gerald to come back when they fit. In terms of the fast bowling personnel for Bangladesh, and we had a nice little meeting, when I say we, the coaches, the other night with Russell Domingo, where we spent half an hour just chatting around conditions we expected to get there, etc., etc. And after all of that, it was quite clear that on a day in Dhaka, we might play 3 seamers. Similarly, in Chattogram, we might play 3 seamers. And it was actually no point in dragging along another quick bowler with us if all we ever going to play was 3 at most.
Okay, interesting.
And the front 3 would be Nandre, KG, and obviously Bian as the all-rounder. And then we felt we needed someone like Pato when conditions are quite flat. If he does get on the park, someone that could give us a measure of control, bowl, stump to stump sort of stuff. And if conditions on certain mornings, it might seem around a bit, he might also be able to exploit that. But he's really going as cover for the front 3, as I mentioned.
Okay, so he's at cover. So there are going to be questions about Pato's selection. There's obviously going to be people questioning that. This could have been an opportunity maybe to give a younger guy a chance to learn from the more experienced guys. But at the same time, if one of the players pull up, you'd rather want then an experienced guy to come in case of for cover. So I can see both sides of it in a way. Who that younger bowler would have been, who's actually deserved a call up to the Protea side, because obviously being part of the squad means that's a maiden call up. So you are part of the squad. You can't just go along and just be a part of the squad without actually getting that call up to the Proteas on your name. So if you look at the bowlers from an experience point of view of who's around, then you go with someone like Pato then, because obviously he's been a part of the squads, he's played in New Zealand, etc. So you'd be able to be that cover for the team. You could have maybe gone with someone else that has been in and out of the test squads before, but there's also some domestic games that are happening, and I think it would be a lot more beneficial for youngsters to play domestic cricket right now than to just sit and learn without getting any game time. Personally, I think for their development, etc. So I can understand it from both sides, and I can understand it from both ways. For me personally, because I do think that other players will get a lot more out of the domestic game right now, playing domestic cricket for their chances in other teams, rather than actually sitting on the bench and not playing if they're only going to play 3 seamers. So, yeah, I get both points.
Thanks, Paul, for those.
How's it, Shukri? Shukri, I'm just wondering your opinion on your upcoming opposition. I mean, we saw Bangladesh beat Pakistan recently, and that was like really historic for them. And then Sri Lanka have gone on and they've swept New Zealand very, very convincingly. Obviously, Pakistan in a bad place, and you're playing the three upcoming teams, and you in fact do need to win 5 out of 6. So I'm just wondering how you're looking at them. You know, I don't think we would have thought like 6 months ago that Sri Lanka would be in the running for the World Test Championship final, but they are.
Yeah, look, Sri Lanka have done exceptionally well.
That's going to be a dangerous
the
test.
good thing is that, and you look at Bangladesh as well, they've now got fast bowlers that can compete outside of the subcontinent, you know. So it's no surprise that they've done as well as they have. And then obviously their batters, they've got an experienced, I'm talking about Sri Lanka now, really experienced bunch of batters where you've got Chandamal, Angelo Matthews, Camino Mendes has been exceptional. And yes, they've forced their way back into the reckoning. But yeah, look, we'll worry about Sri Lanka post our tour of Bangladesh. But it's heartening to me to see that it's not only about the big three, you know, that everybody else is performing admirably well. With regards to Bangladesh, they're going to be match ready. They've had they're in the midst of a tough series against India. They beat Pakistan in Pakistan, and they'll be very confident. And they're a confident group in Bangladesh. And those are that's going to present its challenge of its own, the conditions. But that makes it exciting, you know. If we want to grow as a test group, this is where you're going to get tested. You're not only going to test yourself at home, you want to go abroad and do particularly well and test yourself in various conditions. Bangladesh is going to be a hell of a test for us, and I'm so excited about it because it's going to go a long way in embedding a lot of what we're wanting to do with this test side. And yeah, just chatting to the rest of the guys as well, they're equally as excited as I am. It's going to be challenging, but very exciting for those.
Sure. Sorry, if I can just ask you also, Shakib has said that it'll be his last test, and obviously he's been playing for like as long as anyone.
Okay, before we get into the Shakib stuff, I forgot to mention also about the previous question, something that I was really happy with. I'm glad that Coach Shukri had a conversation with the likes of Russell Domingo as well to get some insight into what he knows about the conditions, obviously being the previous Bangladesh coach there. So you would have given him some nice insight into that. That's awesome that we have him in our domestic setup, that he can give us and teach us some knowledge about those things. So that's really great that actually Coach Shukri went and leaned on him and to get some information out of him. I see about a comment about Marco. Coach Shukri just said now that Marco and Gerald are injured. I know that Marco was rested before, but maybe that's changed. Perhaps he is injured at the moment. That's why they didn't select him. Because initially they rested him so that he can be ready for this test series. But if he's picked up an injury, that's a little bit of a concern. So I don't know what's going on with that. But according to this press, I heard that Coach Shukri named Gerald and Marco with regards to injury. Then coming to what was said there, Bangladesh is it's going to be a proper test, and I'm glad that Coach Shukri understands that and has said that, made it clear it's going to be a test. But they're excited. Yeah, I get that they will be, but it's going to be a proper test for our batters. It's going to be a big test for our batters. It's a series where they're going to learn a hell of a lot, I feel, and because Bangladesh, like Coach said there, have also included a lot of. They also have managed to get some great seamers into the mix that play well out of the subcontinent. Perhaps that will lean towards them not creating ultra spinner friendly pitches. Then we could perhaps get 1 or 2 sessions that are going to be good for the seamers. So we need to also be very aware of that. We read the conditions very carefully because Bangladesh might have a couple of different insights or changes up their sleeve with regards to the pitches that they're going to be giving us over there.
Remember, really, what do you think of, like, you know, just being the team that he signs off against, and of him as a player in general?
Been part of a team myself now where players are signing off, so quite used to all the excitement around that. And again, that adds to the excitement, and this is why we play elite sport and we play international cricket, because there obviously subplots and sub-stories to go with the main event, and that makes it even more exciting and more challenging. They obviously want to send him out on a high. He'd want to go out on a high, and we're really there to spoil the party for them.
Thanks for those, Kanyiso, and then we'll take a follow-up from Neil.
Thank you very much, Lucy. Good afternoon, Shukri. Hope all is well. Shukri, how important will that pre-camp that you guys are going to have in Pretoria be to arm yourselves against spin and low bouncing pitches? Because one of the key things about the World Test Championship is the pitch preparation, and teams aren't scared of preparing pitches that will produce results and games in ongoing 5 days.
Yeah, it's going to be, so it's going to be of vital importance. So obviously, we're going to, at Tuks, going to prepare wickets that obviously will be very spin friendly. But we also don't want to lose sight of the fact that they've got a really good seam attack, So we want to.
Yeah, I just spoke about it.
There.
I just spoke about it.
I think, and please don't confuse this with Test cricket is completely different to limited over stuff. I genuinely believe our play of spin bowling has improved, this will be a really good test for that. It will be a proper litmus test in terms of where we're at. But I'll go there very confident and very comfortable that whilst it will be very challenging, that we do have the depth in our side, we do have the skill set in our side, we do have the players in our side to take this challenge head on and come out of there successfully. So we'll cover all our bases in the camp, at the camp. Some might say it's only a couple of days, but you go there, play warm-up games, you never get the wickets that they're going to give you a test match on, so we might as well preempt what we're potentially going to get and do it at home and arrive there fresh and ready.
Interesting, yeah, because that's what the people always do. I remember us going to, where was it? I think it was India, and then we played warm-up games before the India Test series, and the wickets that they prepared for us, our batters were actually batting really well and seeing the ball well, and they were getting into a great rhythm. And then the wickets that we got in the test match itself was like completely opposite. So they do that. So Coach, I like that from Coach Shukri, that he's actually being a little bit more smart about this and saying, you know what, we're going to prepare our own pitches. We're going to try and make it as bad as possible so that we can obviously prepare as best as possible for both sides, whether they're going to go into this, show us, because they got some good seamers. I said, be aware of that. And that's before I actually heard that. Be aware of the fact that they could also possibly allow this pitch to be able to be good for spin and seam, and cover both bases. They might back their seamers a little bit more to win the game than actually the spin and catch us completely off guard. So at least we're preparing for both angles, and we expect our head coach to be able to do that, and that's what you can expect from a head coach.
Thanks, Kanyiso. Neil?
Shucks, 3 spinners and 3 keepers. I just wondered whether Verreynne is still the #1 glove man. Had Breedsky and Rickleton picked as batsmen?
For starters, Breedsky doesn't even come in the equation as a wicket keeper. So 2 keepers, Neil. We don't even look at Breda as a keeper. Breda, obviously, the next batter up, and whether Carl is the leading gloveman or the #1 gloveman, look, it depends on the makeup. I mean, without the ball being bowled, and as we sit here, the answer is probably yes. But when we arrive in Bangladesh and we look at the conditions and we look at what we might have to put out, then that might change, So we don't want to go hard and fast. Ryan, obviously, Ricks offers us a great option in the middle order as a left-hander, which we don't have. And you just the previous question was around Shakib Hussain and Tajmal Asmal Islam, who probably do a lot of the bowling. So it gives us that option as well. And who knows, both might play, both Rickleton and Carl, or just one of them. 3 spinners. We want cover for Kesh, obviously. The good thing is, with our 2 spinners, Kesh bowls a hell of a lot of overs, as he showed in the West Indies. And then obviously, I also don't want to lose, if we were to leave out a seamer, or we want to play an extra spinner, I don't want to lose out on too much batting, you know. And that's where Sen Mutasami comes in. But more as cover for someone like Keshav. I feel we've got, if Pity were to go down, I think guys like Aiden and Stubbo could step up to the plate. But I'll be very surprised if all 3 spinners play, given the fact that we've got someone in Kesh that can bowl as many overs as he does.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Interesting. That's very interesting.
Thanks, Neil.
Okay, so he's really thought about this, guys, in depth regards to this. And that is something that we also have to take into account. But he's thought about this very strategically, I guess. That's how it's coming across. So let's see what they do and what the selections will be like. I believe that Coach Shukri will pick the best team according to what the conditions are. That's just the way he does operate. And I don't see him as a person that will pick favorites or whatever the case may be necessarily once that first 11 is selected. He'll pick, I feel, the best team that he can put out there for the conditions. That's what I think personally. I might be wrong.
We're going to go Fani, and then can you? So I just want to check if that's an old or new hand as we look to wrap up the media op.
It was an old hand, but I've got a question, so I'll ask after Fani. It's fine.
Perfect. Thanks. Go ahead, Fani.
Shukri, what do you make of the ability of our seam bowlers to get reverse swing, Kagiso Rabada and Nandre Burger? And do you think that they will be successful with that reverse swing in Bangladesh conditions?
Yeah, so this is obviously a topic that we spoke to Russell about. He doesn't feel that in Dhaka that reverse swing is such a big factor because of the lushness of the ground. But if it were to come into play, then obviously the pace of Nandre gives us a reverse swing option, and obviously KG, there's a good reason why he's close to 300 Test wickets, because he's got the ability to do pretty much anything. So if reverse swing were to be a factor, then I'm very comfortable that the stocks that we've got are able to exploit that.
Thanks, Fani. And then we'll look to wrap with Kanyiso.
Thank you very much, News. Shukri, it does go. I said that the Proteas lost a test match, a test series in the subcontinent back in 2015. 2014, I mean, when they went to Sri Lanka. How important does this series become, not just from a World Test Champion perspective, but just to reestablish South Africa's credentials as a very strong traveling side? Yeah, great question. I think it's more about that than the World Test Championship for me right now, because if you look at next year, we tour Pakistan and we tour India, and this will go a long way in giving us a lot of confidence. It will be, like I said earlier, a great litmus test for us in terms of where we're at. So for the development of the side and for the side going forward in establishing ourselves as a great test side, I think this tour is of critical importance. You know, it will give us so much to work with going forward. And that's why I'm as excited as I am. You know, we always want those tough challenges, and this is when you really get tested as a unit, and each character will be tested. The conditions will be alien to almost all of them, or to all of them, in fact. And again, that's probably when we're going to see the best of our guys. So, I'm very excited, Kanisa, and this will go a long way in establishing how we go forward as a test side as well.
Okay, so that's the presser. It's going to be a proper test. It really is, and we're going to learn a lot about our players and their characters, and how they can handle that pressure and those different conditions, and how far along they've come when it comes to playing against spin and playing in foreign conditions. So I'm excited about the test series. I've given you guys an update. You can rewind if you want to know a little bit more about things that happen over there from that perspective. The dates and all of that in the squad I've read out on the show as well. So that's the part about the test squad, guys. Let me just see what you guys have had to say about the test squad first, and read out some of the comments before we get into some of the into the ODI preview stuff. Lawrence is seeing how we played the Afghanistan spinners on turning pitches has me worried. Some of our players really struggled against good spinners, and Bangladesh, like Afghanistan, has quite a few very good spinners. Yeah, but I think that it will be different in this format. They without the pressure of having to score runs quickly, or having to or having the thought in the back of the mind that they're wasting balls. I think they'll be able to handle the spin a lot better in red ball cricket, and I'm hoping that they can and they will. Let's see what they do, and how much work they will be doing, because I think they're going to be doing a lot of preparation heading into this Bangladesh series, and I think this is the first time that actually they will fully focus on this. Coach Ashwell will be back with the team again, as the batting coach. So let's see if he can help these guys as well, and they can learn from him as well. Let me see some more. That's not about this. That's not about this. That's not about this. Lorenzo says, "Don't worry, guys. Rickleton will warm the bench as usual under Shukri. You just know he will continue with Kyle, who continues to struggle massively in international cricket. Well, he played both Rickleton and Ricks in West Indies. So didn't he? If I'm not mistaken. The last test series we played, I think he played both of them. So perhaps we will see both of them. Lawrence says, I can actually see both Kyle and Ricks play. We need another left-hander in the middle order to combat the left-arm spin of Bangladesh, because they have plenty. Coach Shukri doesn't normally go against his word. If he says there's a possibility for both to play and the conditions dictate that they should, he would. I don't think he will say something and then do the opposite necessarily. He'd always say it at some point, whether it is in the next press conference or in interviews after. Sam says Kyle needs a lot of playing spin as well. Struggled against Afghanistan spinners. Dex says good luck winning against Bangladesh with that spin attack. Yeah, it's a tough one. Cricket Side says 2 days to go for SA20 auction. Whistle for Joe. It's actually tomorrow, the SA20 auction. I'll be attending it. Sam's given his 11 already. He says Aiden, Tony, Stubbs, Temba, Bedingham, Rickleton, Kyle, Mulder, Keshav, KG, Pitt. That would be an ideal 11 for me as well. If the conditions dictated, that would definitely be for me. Khalid, what about Rob Presser after losing? What is his excuse? We're going to be listening to that right now as we move into the next segment of the show. Sam says Khalid Ashwell Prince will be leading the batting coach for Bangladesh tour, who is in the permanent basis, Imran Khan or Ashwell. Why they not always provide full information of both Rob and Shukri? Well, the official coach is Ashwell Prince when he's available. So Ashwell Prince is going to tour with the team. That's what they announced in the squad announcement. Ashwell Prince, the test batting coach, Ashwell Prince will return for the tour. So at least we know that he's now the batting coach for this tour. Okay, on to the next. The next one will be the segment on the Ireland T20 series. Let me first go with Rob Walters' presser and what he had to say after that game. So let's have a listen to that. Let's see what Coach Rob said after the T20 series.
Disappointing. I suppose in a way that is T20 cricket. Things can turn around quite quickly. Takes a dominant performance from one person in the opposition that can put you behind the 8 ball. So, but still, we should have got over the line tonight, no doubt about that. thought we clawed ourselves back in the field excellently well. The bowlers bowled very well at the death. I think can't fault the effort in the field. We made a few errors out there, but certainly the effort was there. And then with the bat, we're in a great position to win the game. We could have been a bit more clinical, but also I felt that they did execute their death plans very well and made it tough for us to get it done.
Yeah, okay. So those are just obvious things that he said there. We should have done better. We should have actually won that match. We shouldn't have lost that match at all, in my opinion, at least. Let's continue. They've cut out the questions in this video, CSA. So I don't know what the questions are, but we have answers from Rob.
Yeah, Riza, I mean, he's a quality player.
Okay, so this is obviously a question about Riza Hendricks.
Trust that, if you just give him enough opportunities, that things will fall into place. So we saw the 250s, so it was good to see. Love for him to have gone on. And I still believe there's a lot more runs in him for South Africa. Matthew Breedske obviously played a lovely hand there. Would have loved to have seen him get the team over the line, was in a great position to do that. But yeah, batted very well up until getting out. Yeah,
and we agreed on that. That's just obviously this is an assessment of the match. No hard-hitting questions being asked here yet.
I mean, that's the thing about giving opportunities. Ultimately, it's all done with the best intentions. You've got to give guys opportunity and exposure to good opposition to see where they stand, to give them an insight as to what they need to work on. As a team, we didn't achieve the results in any way that we were hoping to. Came up against some stiff opposition along the way, but still, games that we would expect to win, we didn't manage to get done. However, there are a bunch of young cricketers who played some good opposition, played some good cricket, learned a lot, and hopefully the learning now turns into performance.
I hope so too, definitely. We wanted wins, guys. Let's just be honest about that first and foremost. I don't think doesn't feel great as a fan. I know that they're going through a transition and they're giving a whole lot of bunch of players opportunities. But at the same time, we still, as fans, we don't want to see the team lose. And I believe that those players are a lot better than what they showed against Afghanistan. Definitely. Ireland as well. We should have gotten over the line there. So that's very disappointing from that factor. But it was good that at least we've seen some of the next guys in line, and some of them put up their hand and performed well. And I think that we found certain areas in the squads that we can improve. That we can definitely add guys into the mix in the future. Like I said, I think our ODI and T20 squads need a lot less work than what our test squad needs, personally, in my opinion.
To be honest, it's not something we talk about. Ultimately, you want to win every game you play. You're certainly trying to win every game you play. We should have won a series tonight against Ireland, but we didn't. So really, it's about trying to piece the pieces of the puzzle together, improve our performances as a unit. The guys that have now been given a bit of experience and exposure to quality oppositions now have to perform the next time they get a chance, so that those collective performances actually result in winning games of cricket. I mean, we're a proud cricket team. We're playing for a proud nation of sports-loving people who want to see South Africa win, want to see us play good cricket, and we haven't done that at times, and we're certainly disappointed by that. But we'll continue, especially me as coach, continue to look for the positives in it, continue to understand the journey that we're on as a team, and that you have to, in some instances, be patient, but in other instances, be a lot harder on ourselves and expect a lot more.
Okay, good that he said that, because that's spot on how I feel. We need to be hard on ourselves when we don't perform. Definitely need to do that. But on the same time, you also need to be patient with certain players, etc. Given you don't know how good a player is by watching them play domestic cricket. You'll only know how good they are until they put that green and gold on and they play for the country. So it's hard to know who to give chances to. You can make a calculated guess on who's going to come through. Look at their character, look at their consistency, where they scored their runs, in which country, which grounds in South Africa, and then give them the chance to show if they can play for South Africa or not.
The team are working exceptionally hard. The younger guys are working exceptionally hard on their games. We're learning all the time. And ultimately, as I said, at some point the learnings will need to turn into performance. in the meantime, it hurts a lot to lose. As I said, we're a very proud team, and we know that we're playing for a proud nation. So we continue to endeavour to be better. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, they need to. Dex, I know you're saying losing to minnows in the name of building the player pool greatly affects the Proteas as a brand. Rob needs to keep that in mind. He better need to realize that the legacy that past legends built is holy. Rob has made a semi-final and a final in his first two World Cups that he's actually been in. I mean, what other coach has done that? I mean, into both formats. I mean that legacy, that legacy we're building now. I feel no team, even all the great players we've had, have ever made a World Cup final in any format. So we've already achieved things that previous generations could never ever do. So I think our cricket's heading in the right direction with regards to that personally. But that just might be me.
All you can ask is that a guy comes into the team and tries to play the same way he's played in the SA20 and the other leagues that he's been successful with. And essentially, he was able to deliver two performances, one in particular in game one. So from my point of view, it's just great to see him playing in the same way. It's all we're encouraging the guys to do is really endeavour to play their best cricket for South Africa. He was able to do that. And yeah, he's still in such an infant stage of his T20 career. So long may that continue, and I know he'll grow as a cricketer.
Okay, so that's that. That's what Coach Rob had to say about that. Yeah, basically just straightforward over there on what he had to say regarding that. So let me dive into the ODIs and what's going to be happening in the ODIs. So we play 3 ODIs now against Ireland. That's our next fixtures. And we're going to be playing our first one on Wednesday. And it's going to be a big series, I feel, because after that destruction by Afghanistan against us, I feel that we need to really step up and improve our performances and play a lot better than we did against Afghanistan. That's going to be the true test for South Africa to bounce back now against Ireland. They should be a lot better and a lot more equipped to play in the ODI format. I think these players should be a lot more composed and they should have the edge over Ireland. They should. But we don't know what's going to happen in this match. So we're going to have to wait and see. A lot is going to ride on selections, of course. That's also going to be a big factor. And the squad for the Ireland ODIs is as follows. We've got the likes of Temba Bavuma, Tony De Zorzi, Ryan Rickleton, Tristan Stubbs, Rassie van der Dis, and Cal Verreynne. I think all of them play, to be honest with you. That's our top 6. And then we're going to have to make decisions based on conditions. Are we going to play both spinners? Are we going to play the all-rounders? Othniel Bartman, Nandre Burger, Lungingidi, Lazard Williams, who gets the nod over there? Based on these guys' performances recently, they've all been inconsistent. Othniel's been inconsistent. Nandre's been inconsistent. Lazard's been here and there, coming back good after great buyout starts. Lungingidi's been okay. Vian Mulder's been decent. So far, hasn't been terrible, but it's been decent here and there. He needs to find a lot more consistency, I feel, with both bat and ball. He got murdered again in the game against Ireland. So we need to find some consistency, and the switching between formats just makes things difficult. But I think they have a lot more time now at the crease, etc. And I would like to see them all perform well. At least Cal Verreynne is coming off a massive 100 for his county. He went back and played. They needed him for relegation, for their relegation battle over there that they were having. So, yeah, that's going to be very important on who we select for that team. So I'd like to know from you guys, who would you like to see in that starting 11? Let me know who would you like to see in that starting 11. For me, I already said it. I would like to see that a top 6 of all the guys that are here. So Temba, Tony, Ryan, Tristan, Rassie, and Carl. All of them must play. And then I'll go with Vian Mulder. And dependable on conditions, Bjorn Fortuin as the 8th. And then have Ngaba Peter as well in the squad, and then pick the other seamers. But I'd like to know what you guys want to say will say about these things. I would have also given Andile Samalani a chance instead of Andile Pechelquayo in the squad, personally. So pity we didn't get to see him play, but Rob is going with a completely different mentality of giving the youngsters some time to sit on the bench and listen and learn from the international squad, like he was previously. I would have liked to see him, but they probably wanted to send him back domestically so he can play some games, and actually play some domestic cricket and play some cricket, if they weren't thinking of picking him. So yeah, that's all of that for you guys. So we're going to play the first game on Wednesday, and I'm interested to see what we can do with regards to that. That's something that I'd like to see. And then finally, should fans be more upset about results? I would like to hear what you guys have to say. Please leave it in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think, because personally, I was caught between two worlds. I was a little bit conflicted on this one, because on the one hand, I do understand that some of these players, we need to give them opportunities, right? And some of these players, that we need to be patient with them when they get the opportunities. And at the same time, we also want to win games while we're going through this process. So should we be blooding in so many at a time? Do we have enough games to be able to blood in young talent and new talent, plus still get victories? That's the big question over here. So do certain players gain more out of domestic cricket than they would get out of being on the bench of a team, etc.? So those are the type of questions that I wanted to pose to you guys, and I want you to leave it in the comment section below and let me know what you think about that, please. Because I would really like to have a conversation with you guys in the comment section about that. So let me know what you guys think. Because currently I'm very conflicted, because every time we lose, it feels shitty, and I feel down and I feel crap about it. But then at the same time, I also have to understand that some of these players need time to really get to grips with themselves at the international level, because the jump is very big from domestic to international. We've seen that so many times. Certain players will take to it like a duck to water, but not everyone will. So that is something that we need to also take into consideration as well. But guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please smash the like button, comment, share, and subscribe, and click the notification bell for all future videos. Very important that you guys subscribe. Share this with your friends and family as well, if they are cricket lovers too, South African cricket lovers. It really will help a lot from a channel perspective. And when you smash that like button and also comment, it helps too. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'll see you guys again with another live show very, very soon. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everybody. Peace out.